as I was traveling back to Southern California, I was thinking to myself, and I knew that you and I were going to be teaming up on today's show, and I kind of just started to think of like, what are some stuff that we can dive into? And I thought to myself, LeBron James is always a topic of conversation. Then maybe it's time for LeBron James to maybe just hang it up. Maybe just call it quits. And this was on Sunday. I'm not trying to be that guy, but it's going to sound like that guy. Lo and behold, yesterday, as I'm home celebrating my anniversary with my wife, I see on the TV Kendrick Perkins, LeBron should retire. Okay, so a former NBA player goes on ESPN and says the same exact thing that I was thinking as I was flying over the Rocky Mountains on Sunday night. The same exact thing, but for completely different reasons. Kendrick Perkins feels that LeBron James should retire because of the ongoing drama he feels hurts LeBron's argument of being the greatest of all time. That the more and more that LeBron drags this out, ends up changing head coaches, maybe losing in the first round of the playoffs or last year in the Western Conference Finals and not getting back to the finals. The more and more this stuff goes on, the more it hurts his case of being the greatest of all time. I don't agree with that at all. I think in 10 years from now, Ryan, we're going to look back and we're going to be like, holy smokes, LeBron James, like no one's going to match what he was able to do. And I just think that that's what happens when time, as time passes. We're going to get to the point where LeBron isn't in our forefront every single day. And we'll be able to appreciate it more and have more of a real understanding of what he actually accomplished. But there is no doubt in my mind right now that LeBron is taking the air out of absolutely everything in the NBA. And that is my reason for it, is I just feel that there is this continuation of LeBron. And even the greatness of the NBA can't fully sprout and bloom and grow because of the ongoing dark cloud of what is LeBron going to do, who's going to be his coach, where's he going to play, are they going to draft Bronny James? Like, there are so many things that are going on that I just don't feel the Timberwolves, Dallas and Oklahoma City, however that ends up playing out. All of these stories end up always getting dwarfed by the Lakers and LeBron James. And I just wonder if LeBron stepped away, if more of the NBA would actually be able to grow.
Dan, that's got to be one of the most backwards, contradictory reasons that I've ever heard in my life,
boy.
Dan.
Why?
Here's the reason why it's backwards and contradictory. He's so popular, he should walk away? You're saying that he's such a dominant figure, he should walk away. No, that's time for somebody else to step up. You got it or you don't. If somebody else is not being talked about, that's not LeBron's fault. We can't pin LeBron's responsible for a lot of stuff. He can't be responsible for that. So I'm going to give you an example. When Michael Jordan was getting older and Kobe Bryant came into the league, it wasn't like Michael needs to retire so we could talk about Kobe Bryant more. No, Kobe Bryant made a name for himself in Los Angeles, and everybody put respect on his name, okay? When LeBron James stepped on the stage, okay, in Cleveland, and Kobe Bryant was very much in the league and very much known and very much who Kobe is, LeBron was still LeBron. So I understand, hey, you know what you don't want to see? LeBron come out this next year, and we all understand it, but it's just a part of it, okay? Because there's that foolish, boyish mentality where you don't know any better, okay? And for those who don't remember, this is the honest-to-God truth. Kobe Bryant ended his career like a movie. 60 points on the Utah Jazz. It was unbelievable. But before that, I mean, there was 4 or 5 years where just Kobe was there with a bunch of young guys that it wasn't fitting, and he was frustrated, and none of it felt right. None of it felt right, but those guys are who they are because they don't just walk away on a note like that. Now, here's the big problem, and Dan, I want to know if you agree with this. When we talk about LeBron, here's the big problem with LeBron. He's good enough to not take that step back. So maybe that's the angle that you're going with, but he's not young enough to where he can just go and take over series the way that he used to. And I think, and I believe in my heart, that's the biggest conflict with LeBron and the Lakers. He's not young enough, and he ain't taking no pay cut either. So Tim Duncan, when he got older, he took that pay cut. Kobe Bryant didn't want to take the pay cut. So now it's hard if you want to get that third star, if you want to get those assortment of guys in between to really, really put the talent around LeBron, put the guys around LeBron. You're like, here's Anthony Davis. It's like Anthony Davis hasn't taken that torch yet. I think LeBron, at least it seems like he wanted Anthony Davis to do it.
Yeah, I don't know if he does, and that's part of I think that's part of the issue as well. And I think your analysis is actually really good, and I actually agree with that sort of thinking. And then it goes to the thinking of, okay, if you're not competing for titles, then what is the point of playing? Is it just to team up with Bronny? Is that the point of it?
Little bit.
Yeah.
Dan, I think that as you spur on the GOAT debate, that man plays with his son or sons in the NBA. That's in my opinion, that's a notch in the GOAT debate. Okay, that's pretty darn impressive. And then if he can play at a high level. Now let me hold on. You can't just gloss by that, big fella. Hold on, Dan.
Well,
you said you don't think LeBron James wants Anthony Davis to take over as the guy in L.A. You got to clarify that, man. You can't just leave that out there.
I think it's very difficult for LeBron to pass a torch. I just think it is. It is very difficult for him to do so.
What makes you say that? What makes you confident in saying that? I want to hear it. I'm not shooting you down.
I just don't think that he defers. Like there are times where they tried to even bring in players who would maybe have the ball more in their hands, and in the end it doesn't work because LeBron needs the ball in his hands.
Were they good enough? And I'm not shooting down. I'm just asking, were they good enough? Were there someone that was just balling, and then LeBron was like, nah, homie, give me the ball a little more. Now, he was closer to his prime. We can argue maybe when he and Kyrie didn't work out at the time, but keep in mind, Kyrie wants to come home now.
Sure.
Kyrie was very adamant, but
they were a mess. Before he went back to Cleveland, the Cavs were a mess. Yes.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is who are we talking about that is worthy? And we can say Kai was the most worthy, but who are we talking about that is worthy?
Let me phrase it this way, because this is an analogy, and I'll try to answer the question, but this is where I think LeBron is in his career. Did you ever watch The Office? You ever watch the TV show The Office?
Yes. Amazing.
It was. But when Steve Carell left, you tried to bring in other guys, you brought in different characters, you tried to have other guys play different roles, and it was still The Office, right? Like, that's how I feel like LeBron's career is. Like, we're at the end of those Office seasons where you're trying to do anything. We're trying to find a head coach. And what we're using is, all right, does someone have to have championship pedigree? What about top assistant somewhere? What about top assistant with previous head coaching? Like, there's this cookie cutter realization. There's probably only two people that can coach LeBron James, maybe three. Ty Lue could be one of them, but it's Eric Spoelstra and probably Pat Riley. Like that's where the list is. And Pat Riley's week may not be conducive to that ever happening. The point is I think there's an impossible search. No matter what the Lakers do for a head coach, it's probably not going to work. It probably won't. And now when you look at what the Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards are doing, what Jalen Brunson is doing with the Knicks at this point, and what could happen with the Thunder and Mavs, with Luka and Kyrie. Like, I feel, heck, today it's leading one of the hours of our show because we're talking about LeBron James and whoever the next head coach of the Lakers will be. When he is out of the league, I think it allows everybody else to bloom even more. Their petals get to spread a little bit more. And
you're disgusting. Dan, I've never. Listen, I love you, Dan. You know, I've never been more disgusted by you right now.
Disgust is a pretty big. It's a heavy word, but
Dan, you are an apologist for the rest of the NBA players. You're an apologist right now. Hey, I never thought I'd say that to you.
You mentioned Kobe. Okay, Jordan was out of the league for 3 years. He didn't return until Kobe had already won back-to-back titles. So there wasn't like the emergence of Kobe through that spot. Like there was Kobe's last title in 2010. LeBron ends up winning his first in 2012. Maybe it took Kobe moving out, and whittling down his career, going through those injuries for LeBron to maybe flourish. Maybe it's just the big three. The point is he has such an enormous shadow. And I would claim that LeBron's bigger than Kobe. Like truly.
Whoa, Dan, you're throwing some hot lava right now. I'm sure the phone lines are probably lighting up.
Am I wrong? Does anybody here, as I look through the glass here, Jason Stewart, Isaac Lowenkron, Iowa Sam, LeBron is a bigger entity than Kobe in his NBA career.
And you are in. Are you in studio right now doing this?
Kobe is not in the GOAT debate.
I agree with that. Ryan. As you know, I did local radio, so it's really easy to get beholden here in this market that Kobe Bryant was a huge deal, and he was. Here. But LeBron, I think, worldwide and nationwide.
I hate to say it, but I agree too.
Yeah, so
I just can't believe you guys are in studio saying this, and I'm not trying to fight this and argue this. You know I like LeBron, but Dan, I mean, you are firing off right now. I mean, well, I don't even know we're in the first hour.
How about this, Ryan Hollins? If we were to look at the best case scenario for LeBron James, best case scenario, coming back next year, they find a head coach and they win an NBA title, right? Do we look at that as, man, look at what LeBron did? Do we look at that as like we look at the last go-around of the Golden State Warriors? Or do we just have, all right, it's about time LeBron finally got his real championship with the Los Angeles Lakers?
I think you answered your own question earlier. You said it's impossible, and especially in today's day and era, to appreciate what you have while it's there. Dan, I don't think you appreciate me. I mean, I'm
I actually do greatly, and you know that.
That 7-footer was something else, man. I like that guy. Like, you are not going to appreciate that man while he's there. And I hear you talking about both sides of you're behind right now, and this is not like you. This is you are an apologist.
All I'm saying is,
I'm going to say it again. You're
time.
An apologist for the rest of the stars in the NBA right now.
I'm just saying
it disgusts me.
It's time. Like the growth of what you could get or anything extra, I don't think it's hurting his legacy. I just think that the gains are minimal. They are minimal, and all it is just adding more, angst, more of a strain. The new coach that comes, like Darvin Ham's. Who knows if Darvin Ham's ever going to be a head coach in the NBA again? Who knows? But this is a team that wins an in-season tournament, and now we're thinking, hey, look at this. Look at what could be turning around, and at the end of the year, he's out. And I'm not saying that Darvin Ham does or doesn't deserve an opportunity, but you have now been marked with the didn't win with LeBron stature and status. And Frank Vogel's got his own issues right now in Phoenix with what they're doing. He found work, maybe Darvin Ham will. I just feel that LeBron's gains of what he could gain for winning again and doing what he's done, minimal. I think that fourth championship for the Warriors and coming back and winning in 2022 after everyone had their injuries, after Kevin Durant had left, was Jack Nicklaus in 86 at the Masters. That was Tiger Woods at the Masters in 2019. That is your last hurrah. The juice is out of the orange. That's it. And I just don't think you're going to get that sort of revitalization, sort of rejuvenation of LeBron or the Lakers if they were to win it again. I don't think that it would help to add to, I guess, his GOAT argument, but I don't think that we would all fall in love with LeBron and this fairy tale run to the NBA Finals because we've been so exhausted from him over the previous 5 years.
Dan, let me ask you, son, because you have a short memory, and I never thought a guy who did a recall during the show would have a short memory. Did pull it back one of his takes. There was a point in time when the NBA Finals was just Cleveland and Golden State, right? LeBron versus Curry and the Warriors, right?
Yes.
And what did everybody? What everybody screaming do, Dan? What did they say? We're tired of what?
Sick of it.
We're sick of seeing the same thing. And Dan, you have your nerve on the other end to now say you don't want to see parity in the NBA. I mean, for God's sakes, the Minnesota Timberwolves are now favored to win the championship.
I don't think we're actually appreciating what they're doing right now because we have our thoughts on who's going to be the next head coach of the Lakers. I think for about, for the game last night, there will be more talk about LeBron and the Lakers this week because of the gap between games 2 and 3 with Denver and Minnesota than there will be about Denver or Minnesota. That's just the fact because he just carries so much weight.